Finance Committee meeting October 30th, 2023. Councilor Jones.
Here.
Waltney. Here. Alamon.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Harden.
Here.
Great, we have everyone here.
Now, Bo, we talked to you
Are
about
we gonna
that.
make all these, are we gonna make all these motions?
No, we're not, because we don't have them yet.
We don't have, so just for the last meeting?
Just for the last meeting, yeah.
Okay, then I would make a motion to approve the minutes and dispense with the reading from the Finance Committee on October the 16th.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Alamon. Any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign, 5-0. All right, I'm gonna take a couple things out of order, if you don't mind, without objection. We're gonna go to new business 181023, request for consideration of update from Homewood Chamber of Commerce. We have Meredith Drennen here, who just wanted to provide an overview for us, and then we would just accept that report.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good day, Thursday night. Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you. I wanted to come give an update. I like to do this as we start kind of the holiday season. So much of what we do and some of the work that we do with the city really focuses on our shopping and an event campaign for the holiday season. And we're very excited. We've got some new things going on this year. I know a lot of you have kind of heard, us talk about the holidays over and over again. And I know that we still haven't had Halloween yet, but we really start the holiday, the season really early in the chamber. So many of our ad buys are already completed and done. And really the holiday season, we start it the first week of November, and then it goes all the way through Christmas. So it's a long campaign for us. One of the first things I kind of want to talk kind of an overview of some of the advertising that we're doing this year. We've got some changes, which is really exciting, I think, on our part. We still have some print campaign with the Homewood Star, and we're continuing our Birmingham Mountain Radio campaign. Both of those are campaigns that go throughout the season. So you'll see lots of shopping, ads, some ads as well for some of the events that we do, which I'll go over in a little bit. But really, those are both really long components of the campaign. But the digital side of our campaign, we're getting really creative with this year. The last Christmas season, unfortunately, some of our Google ads didn't, the company we were working with didn't really follow through on everything that they needed to do. So we have done, we've engaged with a new company, but also they're doing some training in-house. So we ultimately will be able to place these ourselves, which I think long-term is a great use of expenses, but then also, learning how to do this ourselves, we can do these for any campaign that we want to do outside of Christmas too. So if we have, another World Games come up, we can start to place those Google ads ourselves, which is kind of exciting. Those ads will be going throughout the holiday season, also for the events, so highlighting the events themselves, but then also encouraging people to shop in Homewood throughout the Birmingham region and really statewide. So those Google ads really go pretty far. For our social ads this year, of course, we're engaging in Instagram and Facebook. Those are ads that we place in-house as well. Something new this year, too, is we have engaged with Beham Now, which is really a blog-based website, but they have a really, really great SEO search on their social media as well. So by engaging with them, we feel like our social media reach will go even farther this year. Sometimes when I come back here in March and talk about the reach, a lot of the events that we do, if it's something like the parade, we want it to hit at least 30,000. For the shopping ads, we really want to hit kind of in those millions mark. We really want to encompass the entire Birmingham region. So we really have to take each of these ads we do and really fine tune it for what we're trying to accomplish. All of these shopping things that we do, we're trying to really encompass the entire Birmingham region and even further if we can, to get everyone to come shop in Homewood and spend their dollars here if we can. One of the fun things that we're doing this year, and this is really coming from the downtown businesses, they're spearheading this, is 2 big social media giveaways. So I would love some push from your own social media if that's possible. But we're doing one for this week with Holiday Open House. A number of businesses have donated products, and it's just one big giveaway. So people can enter, follow all of these businesses and ultimately can win really, really big packages of things, which is all being done by the merchants. So they're really excited about this. And then we're going to do a second one for Small Business Saturday too. So 2 big giveaways. We're really excited to engage with those businesses. And then of course the events this Thursday is Holiday Open House, where all of our businesses stay open late, have refreshments and food, and hopefully everyone gets started on their holiday shopping. We like to start shopping as early as possible here in Homewood. The parade and the lighting of the star on December the 5th. And then new this year, Samford has invited us to come do a breakfast with Santa. So this is open to any Homewood residents. There's a small charge for food, but we've got Santa, we've got pictures included. Just something fun and exciting to do that's a little bit different.
Is that on Sanford's campus?
It's on Sanford's campus in their Rotunda Club. So it's a really great use of one of our members. Just a quick overview of some things that to look forward to, and then also looking back. Moving on, we had started the Business Spotlights program with the mayor's office. Of course, Pebblehurst, you probably saw my email from September. And then O'Henry's will be featured in November, which is actually their 30th anniversary year, which is very exciting. We have coming up a holiday celebration party sponsored by Starnes Media on the 28th of November at Christopher Glen. And then, of course, our annual meeting, James Spann is going to be our keynote speaker on the 12th of December. A lot of you guys came to our golf tournament. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cahaba, for the donation of the beer. That was on the 19th. It almost killed me. We had one of the holes caught on fire at RTJ Oxmoor Valley.
Whoa, no.
wow.
We had to get all of our players to go take the cart path to come get to the actual club itself. But somehow we managed to only start 45 minutes late and ended up netting over $8,000 for some of our small business programs. So thanks to everyone that came in support of that, because it was maybe the craziest golf tournament I've ever been to. Just last week we had a new event, Coffee and Connections. It's a speed networking event that we did with the Mountain Brook and the Vestavia Chambers, and it was hosted by the Junior League. It was a lot of fun. And then, of course, getting ready for the holidays, we met with all of our downtown retailers and businesses on the 11th of October, and that's really where some of these giveaway ideas came up.
Just a quick question. You listed all the things. Y'all normally do television advertising on
do.
CBS. Are y'all doing that this
We
year?
are
You're
not.
You're just going hard
We
on the
are
social.
not. So one of the things we've been looking at is, especially kind of with a lot of people shifting to streaming, they're not watching the commercials as much anymore.
Gotcha.
So it was a very large chunk of our budget
Yeah.
that we were worried wasn't getting the same reach that we used to.
Okay.
So this year we're taking it, we're actually putting that towards those BHAM Now spots.
Yeah.
We'll see how once we look at kind of the return on some of that reach, we can, make a decision if we want to do that in the future.
Yeah.
One of the things we also noticed was that because television ads are so expensive, we could only do them with one television channel.
One station. Yeah.
So you're really limiting, I think, what you can do in a very expensive way.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
So yes, that is the one thing we did put on hold.
Okay. So I guess the proper motion is to accept the report from Meredith.
Unless anyone has any
sorry, I didn't-
questions for Ms. Drennen?
Wait.
No, very grateful. I don't make board meetings like I should, but thank you
All right.
so much
So
for all.
Thank you for
that's a
having me.
motion to accept the report.
Second.
Second.
And second, okay.
We'll look forward to seeing everybody on Thursday at Holiday.
Second by Mr. Gwaltney. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 5-0, that passes. Okay, back up to the top, old business, 2006-23, request for consideration of city manager. And Mayor, do we have anything additional tonight on that?
No, not.
Okay, so we'll carry that over. I know we're waiting on timing and all that, but we'll carry that over without objection for our next meeting. 02-08-23, bid opening set for today at 4:31 for revised paving projects. We did have the bid opening, and Mr. Squires, you have a report for us?
Yes, we had two bidders. Both of them had actually bid before, and I'm asking the finance committee, the low bidder this time was Central Alabama Asphalt and Pave It. paving with a low bid of $689,115.
As the lowest responsible and responsive bidder?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. That is the recommendation from Mr. Squires. Is there a motion from the finance?
Motion to accept the low bid of
Okay.
Second.
$689,115.
It was made by Mr. Harden, seconded by Mrs. Smith. On that. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign, that's 5-0. Going to council for next week. 01/09/23, bid opening set again today at 4:31 for as-needed drainage pipe rehab. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Council. We had one bid from Video Industrial Services, and there's not a lump sum amount. They just provided a lot of unit prices, which is what we asked them to do. So it's an on-call contract. So if we need a specific thing that we identify with our video inspection truck that Berkeley is running out right now, then we can just have a contractor who's responsive to come out and either line the pipe or grout the pipe or whatever we figure is the best thing to do. We have prices for all those things now.
And they did this to us last year, didn't they?
We've never done it before. It's pretty common. There are a lot of municipalities in Alabama that do it. Northport, we kind of use the Northport model. I had the prices that were provided from Northport, and these are cheaper than those from March. So I feel good about the unit prices.
And this is within your budget, so.
It is.
He has this within his budget, so this is on a as-call basis, okay. So your recommendation is to award the bid to Video Industrial Services for as-needed pipe rehab as the responsive and, I guess, sole bidder.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Counselor Allemans, seconded by Counselor Smith on that. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That passes 5-0. 130923, request to amend 22-23 budgets. Brought to us by Mr. Burgett. He has a list that he's handed out. This is to clean up the budget from last year, and we might have some additional ones. So if it's okay, let's, if we could look at these, approve these, and we'll keep this in finance for additional items. Is that correct? Does that work?
Yeah,
for you?
everything for 930 hasn't been fully billed and paid yet, so there will be some additional items. And there's no new money in the budget. There is a transfer for the library. We added $6,800 to her maintenance contract to lease a printer, but we removed the purchase of a printer out of the capital projects for $6,800. So that's taking the money from capital to general fund. But everything else is budgeted money within the department.
All right, any questions on this?
I guess the proper motion is to approve.
To approve the budget
these
amendments.
budget amendments as presented,
As presented.
but keep the item in finance for future.
Yeah, for our
items.
next meeting, yeah.
Second.
Okay, moved by Counselor Smith, seconded by Counselor Allemans. All right. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 5-0 passes. 140923, request to consider changes to credit card purchasing policies, brought to us by Counselor Smith. We have the red line version here.
We have both the red line version and a clean copy on top with the changes as accepted. So every member of the committee has received that, and I think Mr. Kendrick sent that out to everybody this afternoon.
Yeah.
We went through and tried to remove any specific information. There was FIA kept being mentioned. There were specific phone numbers mentioned. people's names, like if you're leaving the city, you have to surrender your card to like specific people. In fact, it still said Mayor McBrayer. So we tried to remove all of that type of information and just make it very basic, very vague. This card must be surrendered to the mayor, finance director, or city clerk. So we tried to remove all of that. You'll notice that. I think the biggest changes are the fact that the department heads are going to be in charge of the cards. We do have language in there that department heads can authorize employees in their departments to use the credit card, but that the department head would be responsible for making sure that all those charges are appropriate. We also added language in the section that talks about what the card can be used for. We got a little bit more specific about what travel costs were, because previously it just said travel. It didn't say anything specifically about what that meant. So we put that down for conference registration and associated conference fees, lodging costs, and transportation, whether that be airfare or fuel, depending on the distance of the conference or the travel that's being done. We also added something into that travel section that if meals are purchased while traveling, employee must adhere to the daily reimbursement rate of $75 a day, which we are going to address in a second, because that's actually a separate thing, because most people don't use the credit card for for food purchases. They buy their own meals and then they are reimbursed when they turn in their expense report. And that we are requiring submission of fully itemized receipts for food purchases. And then there is language that says charges that go above the daily reimbursement rate or items not allowed in the policy will be deducted from the employee's next compensation payment. So that allows us, if there are charges that go over that daily limit or are not authorized, that we would be able to deduct that cost out of the paycheck. I'm trying to see, that's really the most significant changes in the, everything else. So we do have the thing about the cardholder must retain transactional evidence to support all charges. Again, this goes back to the itemized receipts, and it says that specifically itemized receipts required for food purchases. All documentation, including the original receipts associated with the payment of the credit card statement, will be maintained in the accounts payable office. But we also have now attached an affidavit that you'll see that is attached to the policy. It's a credit card missing document affidavit. That is, if for some reason an employee were to lose a receipt, they would be able to fill out that affidavit saying, here's what the charge was, here's what it costs, here's what it's for. But there's also a statement that says if that is something that happens habitually, that there can be disciplinary action based on that if you're continually not submitting your receipts. But the affidavit is attached. That's there, and then there is the credit card holder agreement. So once the new policy is in place, we will have everybody fill out and sign the credit card holder agreement again, because I'm not even sure. I mean, those are old, so we're gonna have those. We're gonna have those redone once the policy is redone. And that's really about it. Does anybody on the committee, do y'all have any questions?
Just a question. So
Suggestions?
this is our governing document, the red line, right? Because not all the red lines got over to the clean copy,
Well,
but that's not a big deal. Is
There's
that
more on the clean.
There's more on the
There's actually more on the clean than we're on the red line. So no, we went back and forth multiple times. The red line was, once we went through an initial version, then this came to me, we made some more changes, and then Mike added some additional language so there's actually more in the policy.
Look at it, the clean.
Yes, the clean policy is the policy that we will enact.
okay? So we will allow cash advances.
Do not.
No.
Do not
Cannot.
allow.
It says it right there.
Advances
Provisions of the
without
city
having
credit card cannot be
resolution
used to
accounts.
obtain cash advances or the purchase of alcohol.
Got it. Okay.
That's, yeah.
So-
Because there was no, that.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
still there.
Additional. Okay.
It just changed
So-
because he added the cannot be used to purchase alcohol. That was
Got it.
added to it.
Okay.
I mean, let me, a couple of things. One, In corporate America, if you lose your receipts, you lose your receipts, okay?
Well,
All right,
but
I understand
you can
that
do an
happens
But
to
that's-
people.
You can do an
but-
affidavit
but,
for it.
And as long as, I think the point being, if they keep doing it over and over, and you covered that.
Yeah.
The conference cost, this is just minor, but generally, unless someone's last minute signed up for a conference, they're usually not using our credit card for a conference, aren't they? Aren't they
I
paying?
think-
We're using the credit card for probably 99% of
the
conferences.
conferences, yeah.
Meaning, when you sign up for the conference, you use a credit
Yeah.
card?
Yeah.
Yes.
In advance?
Like if the librarians are going
expensive
to a librarian
Okay.
conference, they're gonna use the credit card
Okay.
to
You're
register
not,
for
we're
that
not writing a
conference.
check and mail it to. for the
No.
conference. Okay.
No.
Rarely that
Okay.
will happen, but
Yeah.
most of the time it's a credit card payment
Okay.
for a conference.
That would dissuade employees from participating.
Yeah, yeah, because, I mean, if you have 10 librarians going to a conference at $500 a pop, we're not asking those
Oh,
employees
no,
to.
I knew that, I just.
And there's often not time in the registration process to do the process
To get
of
a
cutting a
check,
check
right,
and
yeah,
sending it
okay.
in. Yeah, that's not time.
I've read
that's
all
not
the changes,
efficiently.
now I'm with you.
Okay,
This-
you
this
got it.
makes
I had a quick
perfect
question.
sense.
Yes.
Are there currently no cards assigned to non-department heads? And how are we addressing that? I mean, are
Wait,
we asking-
currently or
Yes, right now,
like this minute,
correct.
plenty of people have.
And so is there a process from which, because beyond them leaving their employment, are we going to be
Oh,
collecting
no,
those cards
we're
back?
gonna recall the cards.
That's what I'm asking, and so.
Yeah, because we have all the individual card numbers
Mhm.
for each employee that has a card that is not a department head. So we will go through and recall those cards.
And so only department heads by the end of the process will have.
Plus one.
And
other
because if there are exceptions, then we should probably have something here that
Well,
addresses that.
and, because there was the one employee that I think I mentioned before, Lee Jarrett, who technically works under, Berkeley's supervision, but he is not in Berkeley's area. He is here.
He's all over the city.
And he's all over the city all the time and has to use his card to buy supplies to make changes. So I agree with you. I
I'm
don't.
not, yeah, I'm not against them.
Yeah,
there being
yeah,
exceptions, but I think
no.
there probably has to be something, because right now, then he falls outside of this because he's not a department head.
Right. Now, the very first sentence says this policy applies to all employees of the city who are assigned a city credit card.
But then the
And,
next one says credit cards will be assigned to department.
yeah,
heads.
but it's also, but he is an employee of the city who will be assigned a credit card,
Yeah.
and it says, so I don't know, Mike, that's a good question for you.
And the answer is what you just gave it. The policy allows whoever's assigned the card. The policy also said the primary people that are gonna get cards are
Are gonna be
department heads.
department heads, but it does say all employees who are assigned cards. So,
Okay.
but he is, in my view, he is the only employee outside of the department heads that needs a card, because he's not,
I mean, I'm just
he's-
a little bit of a stickler for these kind of things.
Yeah, yeah,
Should-
yeah, no, I'm
Should I
with
say
you.
credit cards will be primarily assigned to department heads instead? Or, I mean, I
no,
just.
because I do not want to make it so equivocal that
Yeah.
then people are like, well, then if, and here's the reason I primarily should be getting one, you know what I'm saying? So I think the fact that we say this policy applies to all employees of the city who are assigned a city credit card.
Oh, and the mayor wanted to act.
Oh, okay, sorry, Mayor.
Well, no, I wanted to, per our conversation.
Yes,
a
yes,
couple
yes.
weeks ago,
Right.
I also want to make sure that, or I would ask that for public safety purposes, that we have one for the department heads for both police and fire, but also one for, at least administratively, in case somebody's off.
And it will
on
still have to be,
conference or
it'll
whatever, and we
still
have
be
an
in their
emergency.
name.
Correct.
It'll
correct.
still be in the department head's name, but your point,
Correct.
that
Just-
if
just so that
somebody's
we have-
traveling, and that there'll still be a card in the
That's
house.
correct, for
with
public
the-
safety purposes.
Right.
Just in case there's an
I think it's an
emergency, we
important
have
distinction,
to
because it does say
something.
it will be in the department head's name, even if the person involved in it is not the department head.
No, because not
See.
because Lee Jarrett's, I mean, again, the policy applies to all employees of the city who are assigned a city credit card.
Correct, but then we also say the credit card will be issued in the name of the department head, so then we're contradicting ourselves if we're not doing that. That's just.
Yeah, I know, and I did have that question. I mean, again, I defer to Mike, because as the lawyer, I mean, if it says, does it,
Sometimes you gotta be a little flexible in your interpretation.
Okay, that's-
And a little
that's-
practical, but we can write whatever you like.
I mean, I
Look at
don't
the
want
policy,
to add
make
any
some changes,
equivocation,
we'll
is
show
my,
And I understand, but
Yeah.
I just want us to be clear then.
right.
And
But,
so-
yeah, I mean, to me, the fact that it says the policy applies to all employees who are assigned a card, he's assigned a card. So, and he is an employee, so the fact that we've assigned that card to him,
Why don't we put it in the employees that sign the card by the mayor?
I think something
Okay.
that allows for some flexibility.
okay, okay.
Because see, I mean, I have my on-call guy has one.
Well, he won't.
And see, when that happens, if there's a storm and he needs tarps or something like that,
Well, I think in that case, Berkeley,
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm
Well, what I
kinda
would do
using that.
then-
I don't, he can have mine, cause I don't,
no, here's what I'm saying. For you, because your department is gonna have a
Yeah.
card. So on weekends, whoever the on-call person is,
Yeah.
they just have the card. Because
Yeah.
nobody else is gonna need it on a weekend, because no one else is
I was
gonna be
just
there.
saying, I mean, referring kind of what.
Yeah, but I think in that case, because that,
Carlos
the
was
whole
talking
point
about.
of this is it says the department head has can authorize any employee in their department to
Yeah.
use the card.
Yeah.
So in this case, you'd be authorizing
Yeah, that's-
the on-call person to be
that's fine,
using the
man.
card when they're on
And I'm not
call.
arguing
I'm
for
good.
people not to get a
Yeah,
card.
no,
It's-
yeah.
it's some- in these kind of
You just
circumstances.
want clarity.
Yeah, you just want it
that's
to be
it.
clear so that the
You wanna
policy
add
is.
that-
So,
You wanna
okay.
add that sentence?
I just think that, yeah, like, or
So-
people.
Any,
So,
any additional cards will.
By the mayor.
Will be approved.
Okay,
Will
okay.
be assigned by the mayor.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Is
Yes,
that, is that
yeah,
an
for sure.
amendment to the,
To the initial, that very first line.
so that's a motion to add that sentence.
Okay.
On the first page.
Go ahead, that's it out there, Brian.
Okay,
you.
thank you,
Is there a
Mike.
second on that?
Oh, second.
Okay, you seconded that. Okay, Counselor Allen, Counselor Smith, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. So that amendment is accepted. And then is there a motion to approve the new policy?
I make a motion to approve the new credit card policy. as
Counselor
it
Harden
just
made
amended.
the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Allen. All right, any questions?
And we're gonna have a conversation about the dollar amount?
Oh,
Still?
yeah, but that is a separate, it's
Yeah.
not in the, yeah, so we can do that after
Yeah.
we approve this, yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 5-0, that passes.
Just to make sure that, I'll explain to you in a second. So the other thing we need to do is, because that was a separate resolution for the reimbursement rate, because it had been $60. So to increase that, we have to do a new resolution that increases that amount. And I do think that, I mean, unless anybody has an argument, I think $75 is a fair
Per diem.
number, for that
For food.
reimbursement rate.
Not
Yeah,
per diem.
Not per diem.
Not per diem.
Yeah, so it's reimbursement rate.
Just don't go.
Yeah,
Reimbursement
no,
rate.
it's a
We're not doing-
reimbursement
we're not
rate, which
doing
is why in the
Yeah.
policy it says you have to adhere
Sorry, I
to
need
the
a point.
$75 a day reimbursement rate, because we don't have a per diem.
People be like collecting their money.
People are reimbursed,
They're
and
gonna-
it's
they're gonna
not,
be
and
looking at
it's,
city
All
per
right, so is there a
diem,
motion
federal
for that,
rates.
that resolution?
Counselor Jones, could I
Yes.
just ask a question while we're talking about reimbursements to make sure I understand this correctly? We're particularly talking about travel and reimbursements for travel, right?
well, no, it's not necessarily travel, it's whenever an employee, like I know sometimes there are people who, that might have to go to Lowe's to buy something for a project, and they'll ask to be reimbursed. And there's people who, like, for some of the boards, who buy things for, you know,
And I think
events or
he's talking
whatever.
about food.
Oh.
No, actually, that's exactly what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
is If
no,
the
it's not-
reimbursement policy
It is not all for it. It
includes
is, I mean, that is
beyond
part
travel.
of the reimbursement.
Yeah.
Basically, this motion or this resolution specifically involves the reimbursement rate for food, because it is a $75 a day reimbursement rate. But in terms of reimbursement, any employee who spends money on a city, on their own personal money, on a city thing that is approved, then they
Yeah.
can file for reimbursement.
I spent-
Above the $75 cap.
Well, well, no, I'm, the $75 a day thing
It's for meal
specifically is
reimbursement.
for
No,
meal
that's what I'm saying, you let
reimbursement.
them, that's what I'm saying, like, but outside of food, and if it's for the city expense, above that, so it doesn't apply.
The
That cap
$75 doesn't apply to, like, I mean, you can go to Lowe's, I mean, I don't know what you might be doing, by buying
$300.
sandbags for
Yeah.
a flooding event, and you have to spend $1,000. If that comes out of your personal account, you
makes
get
sense.
reimbursed for that, yeah, cost. But the $75 specifically applies to meal reimbursement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the what qualifies for reimbursement, is that addressed in the purchase card policy? I mean,
Well-
I'm just trying to see how that, imagine there's less purchase cards, so more people
So,
go the
in
reimbursement
the policy, it says, if meals while traveling are charged to the card, the employee must adhere to the daily reimbursement rate of $75 per day and submit fully itemized receipts. Charges that go above the daily reimbursement rate or for items not allowed in the policy will be deducted from the employee's next compensation payment. So basically, they have $75 a day for meals. They can spend that however they want. They could not buy breakfast, not buy lunch, and spend $75 on dinner, as long as they don't buy a bottle of wine, and they'll get reimbursed for that $75. On the submission of their, I mean, they'll have to submit an itemized receipt when they turn in that credit card bill. But other than that, we don't give specifics about how they can be reimbursed. It just gives them a reimbursement limit for meals per day.
Other than it does state in the ordinance that they have to be out 30 miles outside the city limits of Homewood.
That's right.
And don't go to anywhere Jennifer recommends.
Don't listen to Jennifer Anderson's dad.
Okay, was there a motion? No, we hadn't had a motion.
Oh, no, and I assume, is everybody okay with the $75? Does that sound fair? Okay. Then I guess I would make a motion to change that reimbursement limit to $75 per day.
Second.
Okay, moved by Counselor Smith, second by Counselor Gwaltney. Any other questions on that? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 5-0, that passes for that resolution. All right, thank you for your work on that.
Sure.
Moving to new business, 141023, request to set bid date for Delcris sidewalk phase 2. The recommendation is for December 11th at, due at 4:30, opening at 4:31?
Perfect.
Okay. Need a motion, I guess, to set the bid date.
What motion, what date did y'all say?
December 11th.
Oh, December
at,
11th.
Due at 4:30 and will open at 4:31.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Counselor Smith, second by Counselor Harden. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 5-0, that passes. All right, last item, 191023, request for consideration for a one-time offer concerning retiree health insurance. Mayor.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I was talking to Mr. Smith, I apologize. No, if you guys recall, about, I think it was 2021, we had offered some early retirement insurance benefit. We didn't have a whole lot of people take advantage of it, but we do have some employees that want to be able to retire now. Of course, the hardest thing for them is the cost of insurance once they leave the city. My ask for y'all is to do very similar to what we did the last time, which is from 55 to 65, that we would pay the employee would continue to pay the same amount. The city would cover the rest, so it'd be 200 for family, 200 for single, 500 for family. For anyone that chooses to and is eligible for retirement, we would like to know by the end of this year if they're going to, and then they would retire by March 31st of 2024.
Is this by December 31st of 23?
Correct.
They would retire 3/31/24.
Correct. That's the ask.
Do we have a number of folks we anticipate that we want to take advantage of this? Like,
We have to, I can get you a number. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you the wrong number, but it's double digits.
and then just the other question is, we did this in 21, we're doing this now. Are we gonna do this again when we have another group in 2 or 3? I just wanna be clear as to,
Yeah, no, that.
like,
Yeah.
drawing,
Yeah.
This is it.
and so I just wanna be like, this is like, come now.
Final rodeo.
Correct. And that's exactly what.
Forever hold your peace.
Well, for every
That's
And
home.
it's
exactly
something
what I
we're gonna be doing
explained
in 2 or 3
our
years.
department
Yeah.
heads.
No, forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
Take advantage or don't.
I say, I would agree with the mayor. This is it. This is, if they want this, they should take it now, because we can't keep offering this.
Right.
I don't think that's beneficial for the city.
So I would rather, I want us to be explicit in that piece of it too. This is a one-time.
One time thing. One more time thing.
And Mr. Allen, that was expressed in my conversation with the department heads.
Okay.
Great. All right, any questions for the
So we
mayor?
are going, we're going back to the 55, we're not going.
Correct, 55.
Can I ask a question? Before we had to take, when their benefits were simply frozen, we had some folks who tried to change their benefits before the, so I would say effective November 1, that whatever benefits they have effective November 1.
Correct.
And they can retire any time between the adoption of this ordinance and March 31st, is that what it said?
That is-
Have to tell us by 12/31.
Yeah. But if they want to retire December 1st, they could do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we gonna try to hold some of these positions, or is that something, Mayor, you're gonna work with the department heads on?
I'll work with the department heads on those.
Okay.
You mean after somebody's retired, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution concerning retiree health insurance as presented by the mayor?
So moved.
With the consideration of one time and that they keep the benefits they have on November 1.
Correct. Yep, so that's part of the motion. And I've heard everybody, I've heard three different, so moved. So you made the motion, second by Counselor Oliver. Okay. All right, any other questions? Did you get all that? Okay, yes, sir. All right. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 5-0. We're in full force tonight. I love it. Any other items that I failed to cover? Hearing none, thank you for your attention. We're now adjourned.